Guy McPherson here again with psychologist Peter Miller, and the introductory video for the series was released on Monday, June 17th. So if you're interested in some context for this video and maybe 5 or 6 videos to follow, then you would be well served to go to that video that was released Monday, January 17th. So today we want to talk about tactics that can help you develop healthy coping skills around climate change. And I would argue, and I'm sure Peter would as well, around everything, not just climate change. Item
Mhm.
one, and we're going to talk about these 6 items that are listed by the University of Colorado at Boulder. And item one is focus on what you can control. And I've been pounding this drum for at least 15 years now as a follower of modern Stoicism, rooted in the Stoicism of ancient Greece. I have, for a long time, encouraged people to focus on what they can control. There's a whole bunch of things that we cannot control in our lives. And the more time you spend on those things, the less time you have to spend on the things that you actually have control over. And I would argue that it's wasted time. So you can spend a lot of time worrying about and trying to stop hurricanes from coming to your house in Miami. And my perspective, none of that is helping. You can't control the next hurricane that's going to hit Miami in any way, shape, or form. And so focus on what you can control instead of those millions of other things over which you have no control. And the article, the blog post at Colorado University gives several examples of things that are within your control. Peter, I'm going to let you comment before I start running down that list.
Well, as you were saying those things, I wrote down your own health. Like what can you control? So and I think other therapists that are social figures. Not that I'm a social figure, but other people who are like social figures in the world of mental health. They've advocated for the idea of focusing on what you control, being, learning how to be healthy. Um, and one of the things I often say in therapy with people, if especially if I'm working with a young mother, I'll say that I think the most important thing in the world is a healthy mother. Because a healthy mother can have a profound influence on the people they bring into this world and future generations. But I mean, being a healthy male is very important as well. Because I mean, when you work on your health and you work on your sanity, how to do that in ways that actually work, I mean, not only does your own life get a lot easier or not harder than it needs to be, um, but I mean, you can bring that health and well-being into all different situations of your life. It's almost like you have a new vibration, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that you interact with people is more easygoing. The people enjoy your presence more because you've learned how to, for example, not take as many things personally, not misinterpret so much of the information that happens in daily life. Or even if people are being particularly nasty, like being able to just go with it and not have a big offense reaction, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
Uh, uh, I mean, you were talking about things you can control. Like, I mean, one of the things that people don't like that I think is kind of universal from what I've seen is people don't like feeling uncertainty. They don't like feeling out of control. So they'll, even if they aren't totally aware of it, they'll go to extraordinary measures in ways that actually make their life worse to feel in control, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the much better thing to do is to learn how to be with that feeling without running away from it. Learn how to approach it and kind of like develop like a relationship with it. Namaste out of control, namaste uncertainty. I see you, I understand you. It's okay that you're there, and you can be a part of my experience, and we'll work together, kind of thing. But until you like start learning more about yourself, you probably don't look at it that way, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Um, um, But I mean, once you learn how to do that in a skilled, brave, and courageous way, uh, it transforms your life, and you kind of take life as it comes, more instead of trying to anticipate everything and getting caught up in all these what if thoughts. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if? I call it what ifing, right?
Right. Absolutely.
It's a one form of overthinking, and that movie Inside Out actually depicted that very well. If you want to get a good depiction of that visually,
Mhm.
Inside Out 2, um, all the overthinking and what ifing, and obviously that can happen to people talking about climate change as well. And the world is
Absolutely.
a the world, the Earth is a strange and complex place. It probably always has been.
Right.
Um, but now, it is kind of like, what do you want to call it? Complex and interesting on steroids, a little, right?
Right.
But I mean, you can still, I mean, the thing is, I mean, we're humans, and what humans are best at, and I think Darwin said this, or the ones that survive are the ones that are best at adapting,
Right.
learning how to adapt to whatever situation they're in. And if you learn how to be healthy in your mind and in your body and getting skilled by accessing different resources that we're offering here and others, you can adapt just that much better.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. In fact, modern Stoicism stems from something expressed by Seneca. And he indicated that there are phenomena over which we have control and others that we do not. And we must focus on the former, not the latter, because otherwise it's going to drive us insane. And it, doing so, focusing on the things over which we have control will alleviate our suffering and allow us to have a positive impact on society. If we
Mhm.
spend all of our time doing, as you say, what ifing about things over which you have no control, where does that lead? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Just more what ifing.
And I'll add this in as a piece of emotional validation. And I think, as if, you're having feelings like it feels so out of control and it feels so scary, like, yes, that's understandable, right? That you could feel that way. And it's understandable, this kind of language. We don't use that very much in our interactions with ourselves and with each other. Like, of course you could feel that way. Like, of course, it's okay. Right? You could feel it, the fear and, I don't know. The world is can be a big and scary thing, and
Yeah, absolutely.
it can feel very intimidating.
Yes.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Right. Right. And so many things are out of our control, right?
Mhm.
I mean, this blog post at Colorado University in Boulder goes on about partic doing things like participating in climate change initiatives, writing or calling legislators, building more sustainable habits around personal energy use, on and on and on. All these, decide how you're going to commute to campus, engage your family and friends in meaningful conversations about climate change. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, and so on. And none of these matter. We are in the midst of abrupt, irreversible climate change. So you can take all day calling your congressional representatives, calling your senators, and telling them we need to act. But there is no known way to act that will improve the situation at the planetary level, at the
Yeah,
individual level, at the family level, at the people you interact with in the community level. Yes, there's lots we can do. But
yeah,
let's not think we can save the world here. People have been trying
yeah.
that for a long time.
No, and well, I think you could call it grandiose, right? To try and say I'm going to save the world, right? Like the world is inhabited now by over 8 million people with all different
More than 8 billion.
8 billion, sorry. Yeah,
You
8
lost three
million
digits there.
8 million times 100, 8 billion. Okay, there we go. Anyway, there's like so many people with different agendas, and you're not going to be able to, we can't change everybody's mind, right? To be more environmentally conscious. This will play out how it plays out. Um, and so there's a lot of what they call reality acceptance. And that requires working through emotions as well, like as I was just modeling, right? To get to the point of kind of giving up on grandiose ideas and like, okay, like I'm going to do what's possible in my home and in my community. I'll do something once in a while, like have these brief videos with my good friend, and we'll talk about topics that might be of interest and helpful. and they might help a couple of people, and that's okay.
And let's not downplay the importance of that. In
Mhm.
the courses I taught early on, I was a dreamer and I was idealistic and I thought I was going to change the world just like everybody else. And then after teaching for a few years, I realized that at best, I was positively influencing one or two people each semester in a class with between 30 and 300 people in it. One person,
And
maybe
it's
two.
what's really humbling, and I just had that image of, how you have the circle of, there's the circle with all of the life and all of animals, everything in the circle, and then either man is out of the circle on top or man is in the circle, right? So when you actually go with the model that you're in the circle, it's very humbling. Like you're part of a huge complex ecosystem, like, and it's not about you, right? You're just part of this huge whole. And you really have to kind of discard a lot of your ego to do that. Yeah, because it's not like you're not the master of this whole situation. And it's humbling, isn't it? To realize your place in the grand scheme of things.
Yes, absolutely. And more than 70,000 years ago, humans determined that we were different from and therefore superior to other organisms. Until that point, we took the view that we were within nature, that we were one among many. And then somehow, some way, we decided collectively that we're better than all the other species. That was more than 70,000 years ago. And our brains are still wired to include that information. It's
Mhm.
literally insane.
It's a paradigm shifter. Well, and it's probably at the heart of a lot of the differences in the ways people think about how to be human on this planet, and if whether they accept or reject some of the dominant belief systems.
Absolutely.
Because the dominant belief systems keep saying, no, you're outside the circle, you're on top of everything, everything is here for you, right? That's what the dominant belief systems keep reinforcing every day, every Sunday, every especially, right? And also adopting the idea that that's a very good thing to adopt that idea. It's like you're a better human for adopting that idea. So
Right.
it's very confusing living in this place, I must say.
Yes, I must agree. It's very confusing living in this place.
Because I mean, you can be easily led to believe it's a good thing to be unwell or to think in ways that are un unhealthy and not holistic. Like it's you can be easily led to believe that that's a good thing. And people are led to believe that every day. So again, and that's another thing to contemplate. It's like, okay, people are being led to believe that that's a good thing every day. There's thousands and hundreds of thousands of missionaries from all different kinds of religions preaching generally the same idea, right?
Right. Yes.
And all of those people are going to raise families who believe in similar things, or almost all of them, right? They'll all have babies and they'll teach their babies all those things. So you almost have to laugh at the absurdity of it, right? Like it's kind of funny.
Yes. Yes, it's kinda funny. It's beyond kinda.
Once you really accept the feelings inside of you, like you're really okay with feeling powerless, you're really okay with feeling out of control, like, and you really are at peace with those feelings, I think you can laugh at it. It's funny.
There are phenomena over which we have control and those over which we do not. And it's important to acknowledge the difference.
Like if there are severe consequences to that way of thinking and living, that won't be funny. That'll be very painful. But for now, it's funny. I think.
Right. And on that funny note, let's stop right there and move on to the next short video. Thank you, Peter.